Hello everyone and welcome to another week of indie game development, and this week I'm going to be concentrating on Equilinox again. I've been taking a bit of a break from Equilinox in the last couple of weeks and been working on a few other projects which I'll probably talk about later in the video. But today I'm back to work on Equilinox, and this week I'm going to be implementing a new species with some new behaviours. It is 10 o'clock and first up I've just been getting some of the admin stuff out of the way for the day, answering emails and comments and planning out the week. And I've also been planning out some ideas for the new species that I'm going to be implementing this week, which is going to be the meerkat. And I've planned some interesting behaviours for them. So they're going to be able to build these burrows, which are going to be like holes in the ground which they can jump into and hide in if there are predators coming close. They're also going to build these mounds which a meerkat can stand on and keep watch and alert the other meerkats to danger if necessary. And I'm also considering allowing them to kind of burrow underground and actually move between these burrows, but I'm not sure about that just yet. So the first thing I need to do to start implementing these meerkats is of course to create the model for the meerkats, and that is what I'm going to do now. Just finished having a go at trying to make the models for the meerkat, both the adult and the young version, and it took quite a long time. It was a bit of a tricky one. Getting the heads and the faces right was quite a struggle, and I'm still not sure if I've quite got it right, but for now these will do just fine as placeholder models. So I'm going to get started with getting them loaded up into the game. Just about to stop for my lunch break in a second, but I just wanted to show you that I have now exported the meerkats from Blender and got them converted into the Equilinox file format and loaded up into the game. And they're just using the same settings as the squirrel at the moment, which is why they're called squirrels in the game right now. But obviously I'll be changing all of that in due course. This afternoon I'm getting started with making the meerkat burrows, which are these holes in the ground which the meerkats are going to create, and they'll then be able to go into these holes in order to escape from predators, and also so that they can tunnel underground and they'll then re-emerge from one of the other holes. So I've made the model for that, as you can see, and in a bit I'll get started with programming the meerkats to allow them to actually create these burrows in the game. But first I want to get outside for a bit because it's lovely weather, so I'm going to go for a quick run. For the rest of the afternoon I've just been doing some programming and getting started with the burrowing behaviour for the meerkats. So you can see I've created a burrowing AI, and at the moment it's very simple. The meerkat simply goes to the location where it's going to create the burrow, and it then creates the burrow, which just involves waiting around for a bit and then adding the burrow object into the world. So if we have a look at that in the game, you can see the meerkat here going to the location where it's going to build the burrow. It then waits for a couple of seconds, and this is when some particle effects would happen to show that it's digging, and then as you saw it adds the burrow model into the world. So it's all very simple at the moment. Obviously I'm going to improve this in the next few days, but for today I'm finished and I'm just going to have a nice relaxing evening now. Good morning everyone, it's 20 to 9 on Tuesday morning. I've just had a quick breakfast and now I'm planning out how the full burrowing behaviour of the meerkats is going to work, and in a second I'm going to get started with programming it. So I've made some good progress with the burrowing behaviour this morning. So you can see this meerkat here is going to create a burrow, and at this point it should actually be under the ground. I haven't implemented that yet, but you have to imagine that it's gone into that hole and then it's going to create another hole here which it would then come out of. So it's basically burrowed underground between these two holes. And obviously I don't want the meerkats to continuously create new holes, so if there are already some holes, the meerkats will actually use them to get into the burrow instead. So you can see this meerkat here is going to jump into this hole here, and again it would be underground at this stage, and it then pops back out of that hole there. So obviously that's just the very basics, and it's going to look a lot nicer with more particle effects and animations. But for now I'm going to stop for my lunch break, and then I want to do a bit of painting. As I mentioned in the last vlog, I've really been getting into painting recently, and I'm still very much enjoying it. So after lunch I'm just going to try and do another painting. This afternoon I've been making some very good progress on the meerkat's burrowing behaviour, as you can see. So now when they enter a hole, they do a little jump to enter it, then there's this particle effect to show that they're digging underground, and then they come back out of another hole. 5:15, and I'm pretty much done with the burrowing behaviour of the meerkats when the holes already exist. I still need to do some more work for when they dig the holes, but the jumping in and out of holes is now basically working, all the particle effects are done, and I really like it. I think the meerkats are probably going to be my new favourite species in Equilinox. Seven o'clock now, just made myself some dinner, some chickpea curry today, and I've also been doing a bit more work on the creative mode for Equilinox, which will hopefully be finished soon. The modes are already pretty much done and working. The only thing I still have to do is to update the UI a bit. For example, in the toolbar it still shows how much DP you have, even though everything is free, so it doesn't really need to be there. And just a few other things, like the task button doesn't need to be there because there aren't going to be any tasks in creative mode, but it should be finished soon. So Wednesday morning, getting back to work on the meerkats, and I've just added a very simple animation for when they dig a new hole, so they kind of sink into the ground, and then when they dig a new exit hole, they now also do the jumping animation when they come out of it. So that is the burrowing behaviour of the meerkats pretty much finished, and I'm very happy with it. I've spent probably a bit too long this morning just watching the meerkats popping in and out of those holes. It's very satisfying for some reason. But now I need to get started with the next meerkat behaviour. So next up today I've been working on allowing the meerkats to escape into their holes when they're being chased by predators. So I've got a fox here, and I've made it possible for me to choose when it scares the meerkats, which I will make it do now. And you can see that the meerkats all instantly run away and hide in their burrows. And then when the fox goes away, if I just delete it, you can see that they all re-emerge and come back out to play. And just for fun, here it is again with a few hundred meerkats. Anyway, it's another really nice sunny day today, so I want to get outside for a bit and go for a bike ride up along the coast. For the rest of the afternoon I've taken a bit of a break from the meerkats, and I've been working on the new engine that I'm developing at the moment, and obviously it doesn't look like anything at the moment. I've just been working on some GUI positioning stuff to make sure it works with a resizable display. I'm sure I'll make a video about it at some point, but it's going very well. It's turning out a lot cleaner and nicer to use than the engine that I have for Equilinox, so I'm looking forward to using it for my future games. So today I'm going to be implementing the standing behaviour for the meerkats, and you can see I've already made a start on that. And I decided the easiest way to implement this would be to just make it part of their general idle wandering AI, which is what every animal does when it's not doing anything specific. So you can see the meerkats, they're wandering around, and whenever they stop moving, they now automatically go onto their back two legs. It's still a bit glitchy at the moment. Obviously I need to implement some nice transitions, but it's a start. For the rest of the morning today, I've just been finishing off a few loose ends to do with the meerkats, and I also finished their standing behaviour. So when they stand up, they do a nice transition, they jump into it like that. And I also added a slight breathing animation for when they're standing so that they're not completely still, and then they jump back onto all fours. So if you have a look around, pretty much at any time you can see meerkats standing up, which I think is quite nice. just been implementing the final behaviour for the meerkats, which is that the standing meerkats keep an eye out for nearby predators, and if one comes too close, they notify the entire colony. So you can see, as soon as this eagle gets anywhere nearby, all of the meerkats get alerted, and they all run away and hide in their burrows. And that is the meerkats now pretty much finished, apart from a few loose ends and bug fixes. Something else I've been doing quite a bit of recently is trying different methods of marketing for Equilinox, because now that the sales have kind of steadied out a bit, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to just try out different ways of marketing, see what works, what doesn't work, so that I know for next time. And I'll definitely make a video at some point letting you know what I find out. But yeah, I've been doing some more of that this afternoon. But I need to stop now. I've got quite a lot of cooking to do because I've got a few friends coming over and I want to cook them a nice feast.
Das sieht echt geil aus. Ich weiß zwar nicht, wie viele Leute wir satt kriegen wollen, aber...
It is 11 o'clock on Friday morning, and that is pretty much going to be it for this video, because today I'm just going to be editing it all together, and then at the weekend my parents are coming to visit me for my birthday, which will be very nice. If you want to play Equilinox, you can get it now on Steam for $9.99, and the meerkats aren't in the game just yet, but they will be either next week or the week after. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.